This video is going to take us through the steps on how to file our taxes. So I'm in Google Classroom right now in part 4, how to file your taxes. So in here, there's a bunch of helpful things that you're gonna need to do this. So right here where it says calculate completing a 1040, you are going to need to have this open. For those of you at home, it has the directions here, calculate completing a 1040 form. And it has several characters here, and it has their personal information, how old they are, if they live with their parents, etc., their employment status, and then you can even link onto the W-2s. I did put those separately though in here for you for each character. So the first one for Edgar Flores, here is his W-2 form. It shows us at the top his social security number, his address where he works, his wages that he earned for the year, and his federal income tax withheld. So these two boxes, 1 and 2, are going to be the numbers that you need to file the 1040 form. But back to this calculating thing, you are going to need that form open because in part 2 it tells us line by line what to put in each line for the most part. A lot of zeros are going to be put in these forms because these people are just young, 16, 17, 18 years old, and don't have things like interest income. They don't have stocks and bonds that they've purchased. They don't have any other sources of income other than their regular wage. So it will give us line by line right here on part 2, completing the 1040 form, what we should be putting in each of those boxes. The other thing I've included in here under this how to file your taxes is the tax table for 2020. So this is the actual tax tables where we look up the federal income tax. Those of you in accounting have seen something similar. It does look different though, because we are basically looking for the at least but less than column and then just the single or married filing jointly. There's no separate section for how many withholding allowances they each have. So if, for instance, the person has earned, let's say, $13.55, you would look between the $13.50 and the $13.75, and then if they're single, it would be $136, and if they're married, it would be the same amount. Sometimes they are different depending on if you go up higher. You can see that sometimes it'll be slightly different, but not too much. So that's the federal withholding, the tax table here, and then we have each character have a double 1040 form that you're going to fill out. So the first one, Edgar, we're going to do together. I thought I would do this video though to show you how to get to this. So when you open it, you're going to click these 3 little dots in the corner here and say open in a new window. Once it opens in a new window, you're going to click the download button here, and then you're going to open it up so that you can type into the boxes. So once you have it opened up like this, you can make it bigger, and you can see that the boxes will now allow you to type information right into the box. So you're going to have this form opened as well as the information that we're going to need from his W-2 form. So there's going to be a lot of tabs open at once, which I know is a little bit confusing to work with, but that's just what we have to do. So for Edgar, we're going to open up Edgar's W-2 form, and we're going to see some of the information here. For example, right here is his address that we're going to need, social security number, and his wages are all right here on this form. So I'm going to start filling it in, and you can start filling that top part in as well, and then just pause the video and kind of go step by step as we go through. Okay, so you can see up here at the top, filing status, he is single, so you're going to check that box. Here's his name, first name and middle initial, Edgar J. And please make sure you are capitalizing. This is a federal tax form. You want to make sure it's properly punctuation and so forth. So first name here, last name here, social security number on his W-2 form is just 1, 2, I guess it's 1, 2, 3 up here, and then the X's, so that we don't have an actual number in there. So just put 1, 2, 3, XXXX, all the rest are X's. His address here, his home address, is on our form. So right here is his home address, 111 West Main Street, Los Angeles, California. So you're going to plug that information in here, and his zip code 90004. Here in this box, presidential election campaign, you would do this in real life. If you want $3 to go to this fund, if you do, you check yes or spouse. I'm going to leave that blank because I do not want to donate to that. At any time in the 2020, did you receive, sell, send, exchange, or otherwise acquire financial interest in virtual currency? So cyber currency, things like that, Bitcoin, whatever. We're going to assume no for this person, and most likely most of you would be no. Standard deduction, right here, someone can claim you as a dependent. And yes, because remember, this person is a minor, he lives with his parents, and we had that information right here. Edgar Flores is 16 and he lives with his parents at home. He works around 10 hours a week cleaning pools for $15 an hour. So yes, his parents can claim him as a dependent. We don't have to worry about anything for the dependents section. So then we're down here on line 1, wages, salaries, tips from the attached W-2 form. And we are looking at that W-2 form right here in box 1. He made $5,505. So we're going to put that in line 1. Now remember this form right here that has the calculate completing the 1040 with their information. If you scroll down to part 2, you got to have this open to follow the boxes. So it says lines 2A through 8 assume 0 for each value. So when we're looking at those values, 2A through line 8, we're going to put zeros in all of these amounts because it talks about tax-exempt interest and dividends and all of that information that none of us at our age will probably have any of that. So we're just going to assume 0 for all of those things. And then it says for line 9, add lines 1, 2B, 3, blah, blah, blah. This is your total income. So we're basically adding line 1 with all these zeros. So we're just carrying that number 5505 down to line 9. Going back to that form then, 10A through 10C, there's no adjustments to income. So we're going to also then add zeros for 10A, 10B, and 10C, zeros for all of those. And then line 11 says subtract line 10C from line 9. This is your adjusted gross income. So 10C from 9. So 10C is 0 from line 9 is 5505. So once again, that just gets carried over 5505 to line 11. Line 12, standard deduction or itemized deduction. So standard deduction box right here, we know that if we're single or married filing separately, it's $2,400 and so forth. But if you check the box under standard deduction, see instructions. So we have to go back to our instructions for this for line 12. So to determine if the individual is or is not a dependent, we have to read who qualifies as a dependent and so forth. So there's a lot to read there. So here's some information that it's going to tell us. If you are not a dependent, we're going to enter $12,400. If you are a dependent and line 1 is less than $12,400, we're going to enter $12,400. But in the third case, if you are a dependent and line 1 is less than $12,000, the other one was greater, but less than $12,400, we're going to add $350 to line 1 and enter that total here. So we're in this case for Edgar, this third bullet. So we're going to take that 5505 and we're going to add 350 to it. So on line 12, it's going to be 5855. And there's a whole explanation to how they came up with that 350, way more than we need to know right now. But that's the information here. You can read this article and you can go through that calculation and so forth if you want to on your own. Line 13, assume no qualified business income deduction. So we don't have any separate business information or income there. So that's going to be a 0. And then line 14 says add lines 12 and 13 together. So that's pretty easy math. 58, 55 gets carried down here. And then taxable income, subtract line 14 from line 0. If 0 or less, enter 0 here. So we have to, again, subtract 14 from line 11. And if it's 0 or less, we're going to enter 0 here. So that's going to be 0 right there. So right here in 15, if we had a number there, that's when we would go back to that tax table and look up how much tax we owe based on our taxable income. But because it's 0 for Edgar, he made so little, we don't have to go to that chart for him to look that up. So scrolling down to page 2 then, the tax is going to be 0 for him because there's no tax that he has to pay because he made so little. So 16 is 0. Line 17, right here, 17, 19, 20, and 23 assume 0 for each value. So all of these boxes are going to have 0 here. So we're just going to add zeros in basically all the way down. Oops, 0. All the way down to line 24. Because we're going to add 22 through 23, so there's obviously nothing there to add for him. All right, so line 25A from our W-2 form, we got to know how much tax was withheld. So we go back to his W-2 form, and right here in box 2, taxes withheld were $336. So we're going to enter that in 25A, 336. We had nothing else from Form 1099 or any other deductions, so all of those are going to be 0. And then add lines 25A through 25C right here, so we just bring the 336 right here. Go back in here, see if there's any other, assume no estimated tax, so line 26 is nothing. Line 27 through 32, no one is eligible for these credits, so all of 27 through 32 is going to be 0 as well. So these are all going to just be zeros for him, and most likely for you as well. If you read them, it deals with opportunity credit, recoverable credit, all this stuff that does not apply to us. So all of those things are 0. So going down then, carry the 0 here. And line 33, add lines 25D, 26, and 32. These are your total payments, so including this one up here. So line 33 is 336. Line 34 then, if line 33 is more than line 24, subtract line 24 from line 33. This is the amount you overpaid. So when we subtract that, we get the 336. And 35A is very important, amount of line 34 that you want refunded to you. So obviously we want all of it refunded to us, so we're going to carry that down here because we want our entire refund back. And right here we would enter in our checking account information, whether it's checking or savings, where we want this to be deposited. We do want to place a check mark here because we want the whole amount refunded to us, but in the real world you would fill all of this information out here. And then third party, do you want to allow another person to discuss this with the IRS? We would just click no here. And then we would fill out the rest of the information here. So we would sign this. We would have our occupation here. Remember, he is a pool cleaner. If we had a spouse, we'd have that information there too. We would have a preparer's information here. You are going to put your information as the preparer, since that's the only way I'm going to know who did what. So you're going to put your name here. So my name here, but you would put your name here. And then we would sign that as well once we would print this out. So that concludes basically how to fill out the 1040 for Edgar. Make sure you pause this as many times as you need to and refer back to this chart here so that you can fill in everything that you need to do.